I'm Scotty McMorrin, and coming up on WVU News, I'll tell you how a drug that can save people from opioid overdose is both a blessing and a curse.
I'm Connor Schlegel, and coming up on WVU News, I'll tell you how West Virginians are reacting to President Donald Trump's recent nomination of the Supreme Court.
Donald Trump's approval numbers continue to drop lower and lower. I'm at McNamara, and coming up, I'll tell you how the WVU community is reacting to the president's decisions. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
The drug epidemic in West Virginia continues. However, pharmacies are aiming to fight it with an overdose reversing drug. I'm CJ Harvey.
And I'm Brianna Parks. President Trump's recent actions have West Virginians speaking out, and they want their voices heard.
These stories and more on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University.
78 people die across the United States every day because of opioid overdoses.
But local Kroger pharmacies have started selling a drug that can reverse the effects of an overdose. Reporter Scotty McMorrin is here to tell us more. Scotty?
Thanks, Brianna and CJ. Opioid overdose is a major problem across the state and the nation, with naloxone, or Narcan, now on the shelves in 34 pharmacies across West Virginia. Officials hope this life-saving drug will fight West Virginia's addiction. However, some local residents feel this drug will only make things worse. I talked to Star City Police Chief Vic Probst to see if this life-saving drug is a help or a hindrance.
She saw him on the couch, blue and non-responsive.
Opioid overdose is a problem that many Americans and West Virginians deal with every day. The drug naloxone makes it possible to save a person who is overdosing on opioids by reversing the overdose. Star City Police Chief Vic Probst is glad that the drug is available to save people's lives.
A lot of people see it as a way of enabling the person to continue their addictive behavior. I don't agree with that stance. I think a life saved is a life saved, and it always has hope.
West Virginia has the highest drug overdose rate in the country at 41.5 deaths per 100,000 people, which is more than twice the national average.
The accidental ones don't deserve to die just because somebody else on the other side of town is going to abuse the system.
But not everyone agrees with Chief Probst. Some WVU students believe that Narcan will be abused by drug users.
It would be easier for people to use it as a source of, like, I can still use drugs so I can actually revive myself rather than just dying from overdosing on drugs.
However, other WVU students believe that Narcan is a good thing.
We have a large percentage of people dying from opioid deaths that we didn't have previously, and this is the drug that can save them from that.
Pain prescriptions make up a $24 billion market, and about 80% of the global opioid supply is consumed by Americans. In addition to Kroger pharmacies making the drug available over the counter, the State Department of Health will provide 8,000 doses to first responders, and officials will also offer 8,000 more doses of Narcan for free to naloxone programs across the state.
Thanks, Scotty. They can't stop President Donald Trump's nominees to the Supreme Court, but Senate Democrats' votes are being closely watched by members of both parties. Connor Schlegel joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center to tell us more. Connor?
Thanks, Brianna. President Trump nominated Neil Gorsuch last month to fill an 11-month-old vacancy on the Supreme Court, fulfilling a campaign promise to nominate a staunch conservative. Of the 48 Democrats in the Senate, 8 are up for re-election next year, including West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin. So what do local residents think about this recent nomination? I hit the streets to find out.
A potential Supreme Court nomination was critical to voters in the 2016 election. According to an AP exit poll, 21% of Americans said it was the most important issue to them.
One of the main reasons I voted for Donald Trump was for the Supreme Court. That's something that goes for generations that my kids are going to know about. You know, they're going to be affected by the Supreme Court picks that Trump selects, and Neil Gorsuch is the best pick.
College of Law professor John Taylor gave his thoughts on the nomination.
If you try to look at it apart from what his rulings are likely to be, he certainly is very well qualified and very well respected.
Independent voters are also upset about Republicans refusing to confirm Obama appointee Merrick Garland last year.
I don't think that's fair because Obama nominated someone before he left, and that person should at least get a chance to make a name for themselves before they're just not even, they're completely ignored.
According to a recent CNN ORC poll, 49% of Americans think that Congress should vote to confirm Judge Gorsuch, which is slightly lower than Judge Garland's at 52%.
Democrats will now attempt to block this, perhaps as payback for Garland, or at least to protest it and draw attention to the wrong that they think was done. But the bottom line is that right now Republicans have the power to push this through, just as they had the power to block last year. And so I think he's going to be confirmed one way or another.
In the past week or so, 9 Senate Democrats have stated that Judge Gorsuch deserves an up or down vote in the Senate, implying that they would not vote to support a filibuster to block his nomination. That includes Senator Manchin, who said, quote, "I'm not going to filibuster anybody." CJ, back to you at the Waterfront studio.
Thanks, Connor. While many are criticizing Trump's Supreme Court nominee, they're also questioning his EPA pick. Reporter Matt McNamara attended 2 student protests to get their take on the latest political debates.
If we don't do something about it, there might be a day where other people don't get to see a beautiful day like this. Students gathered at Woodburn Circle and the Mountain Lair to voice their concerns over President Trump's recent executive orders.
We're just really concerned that, specifically related to climate change as well, we're seeing someone who's being nominated to run the EPA who doesn't actually believe that there's a connection between human activity and climate change.
Shortly after the protests about environmental protection, students gathered here at Woodburn Circle to further protest Donald Trump's recent immigration ban.
I think it's detrimental to what we're trying to achieve as a university on all kinds of fronts. We love international students. They make our community more vibrant. They bring intellectual energy. They bring their cultures to our community.
Some students are even saying that the ban is actually unconstitutional.
The fact that we have heard the GOP spit rhetoric that says that it will mostly let Christians in is a form of religious discrimination, which is unconstitutional.
An estimated 40 to 50 people showed up to support the Muslim community here at WVU. Matt McNamara, WVU News, Morgantown.
On February 3rd, District Judge James Robart issued a ruling that would temporarily block portions of the executive order banning immigrants and refugees.
A day later, the Department of Homeland Security said that it had stopped enforcing the executive order. You can also watch Matt's story in 360 video. Just go to our website.
Research shows college students and recent college graduates are more politically engaged than ever before.
That's right, CJ. Millennials are also one of the most active groups on social media.
Tessa Iglesias joins us now from Social Square to tell us about a social media app accessory that's helping WVU reach prospective students. Tessa?
With nearly 25% of all Americans using social networking sites several times a day, it really is a social habit, and Snapchat has been one of the newer apps on the scene. With nearly 100 million daily active users, Snapchat has now created a product that allows users to record video and live in the moment. Snap Inc. has now released a new product known as Spectacles that's a game changer. These spectacles allow you to record video and post Snapchat stories through a pair of sunglasses.
We just really want to continue showing what life is like here at WVU and having more hands-on activities to showcase the spectacles and to show how they are really unique and how you don't have to have anything in your hands and you can be very interactive and that kind of thing.
The Uncut Campus Tour campaign video involved touring all 3 WVU campuses, downtown, Evansdale, and Health Sciences. And for WVU student Cheyenne Conrath, she says it was a one-of-a-kind experience.
I really enjoyed the spectacle stories, and I think that's personally because whenever I took pictures and videos on my Snapchat day, it didn't really show everything that I could have shown.
These spectacles allow you to engage in daily life without being tied to your cell phone. To use spectacles, you simply turn on your Bluetooth and pair them to your Snapchat. Then, you grab the glasses and put them on. Press the button on the top left corner to record a 10-second Snapchat. If you would like to have this one-of-a-kind experience, you can purchase these spectacles, but it'll put you back about $130. They can be bought at any SnapBot vending machine, through eBay, or rental companies like Lumoid and Joymode. And even though this campaign to promote WVU and recruit students is now over, they will continue to use these spectacles and Snapchat to recruit more students to the university in the future. Brianna and CJ, back to you.
Thanks, Tessa, for that report. It may only be February, but the basketball regular season is coming to an end, and the men's and women's basketball teams are in the home stretch.
Sports reporter Andrew Caridi gives us an update on the women's basketball team.
I'm Andrew Caridi, and coming up on WVU News, I'll give you an inside look at how the West Virginia women's basketball team plans to return to winning ways.
Ready to go?
Sometimes the most important lessons are learned outside the classroom.
Are we going the right way?
When you chase the unknown, take a risk, and push beyond your boundaries. That's when you discover who you really are. Every journey starts with a first. Let's go.
After suffering their first loss of the season, the WVU women's basketball team has lost 8 of their last 11 games.
And sports reporter Andrew Caridi is here to tell us how the team is planning to refocus before the postseason. Andrew?
Thanks, CJ and Brianna. It was a red-hot start for the WVU women's basketball team. 2 months without a loss and a number 12 ranking had the Mountaineers buzzing. But consistency has been replaced with uncertainty. The 13-game winning streak to begin the season now seems like a distant memory. I talked to some players and head coach Mike Carey about some problems the team has been facing. It's no secret that it's been a tumultuous couple of weeks for the WVU women's basketball team. With just 3 wins in their last 9 games, the frustration peaked with a 25-point loss to Iowa State at the Morgantown Coliseum. According to head coach Mike Carey, all the ingredients are there, but it's going to take a more focused effort to start winning games.
They just turn it on and off, and you know, so you're going to be really inconsistent when a team turns it on and off, and that's what we're doing.
Tough would be an understatement regarding the Mountaineers shooting against the Cyclones that Saturday. The Golden Blue shot just 30%, their lowest total since 2014. Senior center Lene Montgomery remains calm despite the recent setback, and that demeanor isn't limited to the court.
We all have to stick together, play hard, keep your heads high, and be ready to fight. And just when your offense isn't going well, you got to play a little harder on defense because that will create offense for you.
A stalwart defensively, she ranks 2nd in program history in blocks. Her teammates know how pivotal she is on the floor.
When she's in a pain, you know, we can gamble and get out of line, and so they go back door and she'll block the shot.
Fortunately, the leaders on this team have been here before. The 2015 season was also marred with a rough patch of 2 wins in 8 games. That same team would go on and play in the NIT championship game in April. The Mountaineers will get a chance at revenge against the Cyclones this Saturday at Hilton Coliseum. Brianna and CJ, back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. This is a big year for WVU. They are celebrating 150 years.
And Brianna, WVU celebrated with not just 1, but 3 birthday parties on campus. And the celebrations brought out students and faculty from schools all over campus, including President Gee. And while there have been countless number of events already, the party is not over. After all, West Virginia University's history spans 3 centuries. The roots of WVU dates back to 1867, so I'd say that's something to be excited about.
Definitely something to be proud of, CJ. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. You can watch us online on our website.
You can also watch any of our episodes on YouTube, and please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. I'm CJ Harvey.
And I'm Brianna Parks. Thanks for watching WVU News. We'll see you next time.